In this video, I have a small haul for you and a song that I wrote that tells the story behind the haul. And then we're going to take a couple of pieces from what I bought and upcycle them into a new style of necklace, bracelet, and earrings.
Secondhand jewelry from an antique mall, waiting its turn to be upcycled. On a Wednesday afternoon and visiting family in town, we drive to Bristol, Virginia. We stopped in the art gallery and enjoyed a stroll along the sidewalks. I know of a mall, Willow Creek Antiques, filled with vendors, located on State Street, 3 floors, filled with beautiful furniture and home decor. With fingers crossed, I searched out the booth that I had shopped quite some time ago. A vendor booth filled with nothing but jewelry, secondhand jewelry from an antique mall, waiting its turn to be upcycled. I was so excited to see that it was still there, pretty displays and jewelry hanging everywhere. And the cost per piece was only $2. I picked out several pieces that I could upcycle. Secondhand jewelry from an antique mall, waiting its turn to be upcycled. I looked for necklaces with textured chain and others that offered multiple strands. When I got home, I was so excited to empty my bag on the counter and admire each one. Vendor booth filled with nothing but jewelry, secondhand jewelry from an antique mall, waiting its turn to be upcycled. I was so excited to see that it was still there, pretty displays and jewelry hanging everywhere. And the cost per piece was only $2. I picked out several pieces that I could upcycle. Secondhand jewelry from an antique mall, waiting its turn to be upcycled. I looked for necklaces with textured chain and others that offered multiple strands. When I got home, I was so excited to empty my bag on the counter and admire each one. Secondhand jewelry from an antique mall, waiting its turn to be upcycled. My little bag of jewelry inspired this video. Are you ready to upcycle and have some fun? Which necklace shall we choose to become something new? What shall we make? What color shall we choose? What style? You'll find out in just a little while. Secondhand jewelry from an antique mall, waiting its turn to be upcycled.
Let's take a look and see what I found at the antique mall. I didn't buy a lot, but it doesn't always take a lot, to upcycle. Are you ready to take a look at what's in my little bag? See what I found at the antique mall. So let's take it out and take a peek and look at it one by one. I can get it out one by one. What do we have here? I don't know about you, but I can already see this working in to wearable art. Check these out. To me, they're individual little art charms. Well, I thought it was branded, but it doesn't really matter to me because this will get upcycled at some point into wearable art. I can see it now. Really cool, large, chunky charms. I said in the song that I picked out some textured chain. You know, I used up a lot of my chain on that 5-strand necklace. So I have some pretty textured chain. That's what I really bought it for, not so much these components. I bought it for the chain. And this one, it just has that 1960s vibe to it. I just love the colors together. Kind of a copper with a light aqua blue, kind of a robin's egg blue. It's just gorgeous. And I bought it because it has 3 strands of beads, different sizes of beads. So this definitely can be upcycled. It's actually not that old because it has a lobster clasp, but it has that vintage look. And it's actually gorgeous just like it is, but I love the beads. You know, I like my tassels. This one has two really large tassels. It's a very chunky necklace, and I guess 1980s is back in style, as is everything, right? And we have some nice textured chain, quite a bit of chain. I really like this. It's a nice weight. The tassels, it's a faux pearl. And as far as this chain, well, I could take these tassels apart and use this chain as little dangles. Now it is a flat oval, and it's twisted, but definitely have a lot of chain I could work with. And these are just, as I said, faux pearls. But still, a very unique necklace. Does it have a brand? Chico's. We have some more chain. Lots of chain. It's just an oval linked chain. And then, you can hear them, the charms. Goodness sakes, we've got faux pearls in all different shapes of metal charms, from leaves to just all kinds of little doodads. Love that. That should be fun. A little bit of silver here, silver tone. This has an unusual clasp. It's almost like a pin of some sort, and it gets quite tangled. I did notice that. We have some round links. I probably won't use this chain. In fact, I'm sure I won't use the chain. But we have 3 strands of beads. Most of them are plastic beads, but we have a little bit of glass, a little bit of ceramic, and some metal beads. I bought this one because I liked all the different shapes of beads that I would have to work with. So lots of potential here. Just have to decide what we're going to make today. This one is just unique. Kind of reminds me of the 1980s. It has some round beads at the top. No brand on it. These are plastic beads, but various shapes and textures. And huge medallion here. Love the colors. And then some box chain woven in and out. So I see potential here as well. I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't. There's one more in my bag. Not too fancy on the last one, but I wanted some oval and round links. As you know, when I made the 5-strand necklace, I wish I had some more rings to work with. So that's why I picked this one up. It's just a toggle clasp and no branding. That's it. Bag is empty. I'm going to take a few minutes off camera and wipe the jewelry down. I'll be right back. I'm having a hard time deciding which necklaces to upcycle today. Oh my gosh. I guess if I have a preference, if I have to choose today, I think I'm going to start with this one with all the charms. So we'll keep this one. I'm going to set this one aside for today. And the silver, I think I'm going to work with gold. Yeah, that's what I'm going to work with. This one, I can see this in wearable art, so I'll set that aside. I might use this chain. I'll keep that. This one here, I'm going to set aside. I might use this chain. I'm not sure yet. And I'm going to set this larger, chunkier chain aside with the tassels. So we have the textured chain, the linked chain, and all these charms. Lots and lots of charms. I guess we'll just start with the charms. Let's start with the necklace, and then if we can, we'll make a bracelet and some earrings. Even though I really like the charms, there's a lot of them, they're a lot of fun. I'm going to start with taking all of the charms off of here. And to do that, I'm just going to use 2 pairs of flat nose pliers. And you'll find links for my tools at the end of the video for my Amazon affiliate. Plus, I'll put it on the screen here somewhere. But I'll just play you a little bit of music while I take these apart, and we'll find out how many charms we actually have. I have no idea. I haven't counted them.
What did I think? That jewelry making, beads and findings could only be found in a craft store. For years I thought that all jewelry making, beads and findings came from craft stores. Back in the day it was Woolworths and Joann's. Fast forward and it's Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I didn't know until recently that I could upcycle jewelry, look at it with fresh eyes and just take it apart. There's a lady, her name is Vickie. She has a channel, Avante Jewelry, on the platform YouTube. She buys second-hand jewelry, some vintage, others pieces more new. Oh, why did I ever think that jewelry making, beads and findings could only be bought from a craft store? Before my eyes, she changes the design to something completely new. Who knew? I feel so inspired to try it. I went to a thrift store, bought a few necklaces, popped into a garage sale, bought a few more, gathered my jewelry making tools I bought years ago. They were on a shelf just gathering dust, waiting for me to be ready, my inspiration to trust. I separated the jewelry back to what it was before. A necklace, a bracelet, not anymore. On my table lay beads and findings, a clasp and some chain. It was time to play. Oh, why did I ever think that jewelry making, beads and findings could only be bought from a craft store? I closed my eyes for a minute or two to think. Slowly I opened my eyes again, this time seeing with fresh eyes. The pre-owned beads, clasped and findings look new. I let my excitement flow. I began to design, make and create. Before long I had a pair of earrings, a bracelet and a necklace too. Who knew? Why did I ever think that jewelry making, beads and findings could only be bought from a craft store? When you think outside the big box store, your stash and inspiration will expand and you can do more. I tell myself it's easier on the budget if I don't overbuy upcycling jewelry. I think I'll give it a try. Just watch that lady, her name is Vickie. She has a channel, Avante Jewelry, on the platform YouTube. Oh, why did I ever think that jewelry making, beads and findings could only be bought from a craft store? No, 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 no more. No more.
Oh my gosh, look at all that we have to work with from this one necklace that I picked up for $2. Did you think that you could only find beads and findings and chain at the craft stores? I hope you enjoyed the song that I played. I wrote that song a week or so ago, but it just seemed to work for this upcycle because I most certainly did not find these beads and chain and charms in a craft store. Nope. Have some faux pearls of different shapes, have some gold tone round beads and different shapes, and these are all metal charms. We can have a lot of fun with this, and then of course I'll save the jump rings. Now we just need to decide what the next step is, and if I'm going to incorporate this or any of this chain, or even work this chain back in. I'm going to think on it for a minute, and I'll be right back. Keep watching. When I compare these chains to this, I can see that this gold tone is a better color. This is a lot shinier, a lot brighter, and everything is kind of a muted gold color. So I'm going to work with some of this chain and this chain. Do you think we can make anything from just these two necklaces? Do you think? So I'm just going to take this one apart. And I do have a few links at the top that are worn, so I'll just take those off and toss those. We've got plenty to work with here. So just using our chain nose pliers, and this is a lot heavier than anything I've taken apart so far. Just going to open that up. I think I will eliminate that link. And here as well, I'm going to drop down several links before I start working with it. Don't be afraid to buy chain that's imperfect. You know, it gets more wear around the back of the neck, so you can throw that part away and still salvage and upcycle the rest of it. So I've got a few pieces I'm throwing away, including the clasp, because it does have a lot of wear. Although I have to say I really like the size of it, so maybe I'll keep that. Maybe. So we have, goodness sakes, we have a long length of chain here. We won't need all of this. We do want some of these links. So let's take the toggle clasp off. We could always recycle that if we want to. Put it aside and take the, it's not a jump ring, it's a triangle. Can you see that? It's a little triangle. Very unusual. I'm not even sure if it has a cut in it. Well, that's the extension chain. Let's just take the last oval link off with the extension chain. And I bet you these are going to be hard to open. It's very thick. Oh, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Set that extension chain aside and then take a look at this. Look at the pattern. We have 2 rings here and we have 2 rings occasionally linking some of the shapes. And we have 2 oval jump rings here, 2 here, and 2 rings here. So I think I'm going to take this jump ring off. Got to get it open pretty wide, I guess, too. Take a look at this section here. I'm going to take this one off, too. There's no cut in that ring, so I'm going to have to undo the jump ring. That happens, you know, sometimes they're machine made, the rings are, and you can't open them. So open up what you can. Let's take a look at this section. I like the texture here. Those have texture, but all the rest do not. I think I can work with this. Set this aside, although I want the textured ovals off of here. So I'm going to have to undo the jump rings to get to those textured ovals. It'll take me just a minute here. If it takes me too long, I'll just fast forward, but we'll see here. I want the textured ovals. I've got 3 rings inside of here, so it's hard to get a grip on this jump ring. Oh, goodness. I'm not making this up. It's hard to open. Curious how they got all 3 of those in there. Very carefully, I guess. Maybe I could have taken one from somewhere else, but I've got that one, and I'm going to take this one here. Just going to keep setting aside the loose jump rings and whatever I'm not using. So this is what we have. Actually, if I think about earrings, I might just use these small ovals just for another shape. Again, they don't have a split, so I have to separate this. So I'm using all different shapes. How's that? All different shapes. Keeping those in mind for maybe some simple earrings and those. And we might make a bracelet too. Who knows? But let's get some length of chain. Going to start with 11 inches. Making sure that the chain is in pretty good condition because I am still seeing some worn spots here and there. But I'm going to start with about 11 inches. And I am going to go ahead and slip it through this jump ring. I can see I need to close that jump ring up better, and I will. That's what we've got. And then the same thing, let's find another piece of 11 inches. Making sure it's in pretty good condition because there was some wear closer to the neck. So I'm going to separate this. Let's double check this and open this one. 11 inches. Let's go ahead and attach this to that same ring that we did the first length of chain. Sometimes you have to wiggle it back and forth to get it to come together, and if you have to, give it a little pinch. I don't do that real often, but sometimes I think it's going to work okay. So this is the beginning of our necklace. We've got 2 lengths of chain to go around the neck. We'll have to add a clasp, and then we have 3 of the rings dangling. But wait a minute, what am I going to do with these? Sure, I could make these into earrings. I could. We could do that. I had thoughts, though, of working them in here. I'm just not sure now that I look at it. I kind of think that the ring is a little too large, perhaps, to work in here. Not impossible, but I could also work in a ring. I still have some left. To think about that for a second. I've decided that this is too large to stand alone for separating the chain, but I do have this section, and I have this section and a few more rings left here. So I'm going to take these two off of here. I have two of these. I'm going to separate that. So we have these rings that pick up the ring here. Let's just go ahead and separate all of these. We still have this. We still have this. Just take it all apart. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I would like to make earrings and a bracelet though. And of course I have the extension chain. We've got some various rings here, little ones in this section, but we have possibilities here of using them. Or it could be an extension on the necklace itself. I'm going to take these apart. Put all the jump rings aside and see what we've got. I said I might like those for earrings. I'm trying to pick up the pattern in this pendant drop and work it back into the necklace. We have this size, and we have an oval, and then we have these small rings. Do you see anything that you like? What are you thinking? And should the larger ring go in the center, medium here? Of course, we would have one on each side. I guess in all fairness, I should separate this a little bit so we can play. I don't want to get the rings too high around the neck, but if we put a few back in here, that would add some interest. I don't have another small one, so I can't do that. I would be getting into my ovals. Now I'm getting concerned that I don't have enough. And these actually look different. They just look a little bit different from the rest. Do we even need the rings? Gives it a modern look. Definitely a new style of necklace. I like contemporary. I do. I would rather have a large ring here and two small. It's what I would prefer. Or do I? Let's work those in. I do like how it picks up the pendant. I'm going to think on this for a minute, and I'll be right back. I'm still thinking about the placement of these, and I think I will work in the textured in the center. But as we get around the neckline, we don't want these rings going around the neckline. So here's a little tip for you. Take a length of chain, okay? And what I'm doing, I'm going to put this around my neck. You can't see me, but imagine that I'm putting that chain around my neck from the right side to the left, left to right, whatever. And I'm bringing it around just to where I can really start feeling my collarbone. So it's around my neck and drapes about maybe an inch or so. So this is what I have. This is the length that I have. Now I'm going to measure this. It's 10 inches and then divide by 2. So 5 inches. So what I'm saying here is I want 5 inches reserved, 5 inches of chain that I have here on each side reserved for going around the neck, because I just don't want these rings going around the neck. So I guess to mark that, how can we mark that? So if I measure out 5 inches and I go to this ring right here, I'm just going to see if I can get an ear wire to stick in there right now since I'm working with this flat. And I need to do the same thing over here, and of course make sure they are even. I guess I could probably come up with something else, but it's just what's in front of me. Looks like it's this one right here. Bring those together and see how it falls. See if I've got it just right. And it looks good to me. Hope that those stay in here. What else could I put in here? That I could put a jump ring in there. I could, temporarily, just to make sure. It'd be nice to use a different color of jump ring. Oh, I've got some over here. Just grab some silver ones so there's some contrast. Doesn't matter if they're the same. I'm just going to grab a silver jump ring, put it in here as a marker. Take that ear wire out because I just know it's going to fall out anyway. Got another silver jump ring, something that's contrasting the gold. And take the ear wire out. That's not a good idea. Don't use the ear wire. Use a jump ring of a different color and then check it. That's good. I have the 5 inches on each side reserved to go around the neck. That means to add any rings in, we want to be below this. So then it comes back to the fact that I don't really have a lot of chain left. This is going to add length to the necklace. And I'm okay with this being a long necklace. This is not, an 18-inch necklace. It's meant to be worn longer. So if I'm working these in, there's only going to be a few lengths of chain in between everything. Let's take a look at it. It helps to see it before we do it. We can do this, we can. We just have to decide how many links are in between. So I'm going to work my way backwards from here and up. And of course, if I don't eliminate any of these rings from the chain, it's going to make the necklace a little bit longer. With that said, we can always adjust it after we try it on by removing some at the top. So let's not worry about the top right now. Start with the one on the ring and count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to open this up at the 5th one. Now, can we put this ring in the oval, or do we need to use jump rings? I think we need to use jump rings in between. Let's do one side. We'll see if we like it before we do the other. So let's take back some of these jump rings that we had removed. We have these rings. We have some round, we have some oval. We have more oval than we do round. So what's that tell you? Unless I want to get into my own stash and use some round jump rings, I guess I'm going to go with the large oval. Let's put it in here. The ring, get a good grip depending on how stiff the metal is. Okay, add that ring. Get another oval. We're going to pick up the ring, pick up the link of the chain. Good grip. Okay, we've worked one back in. Count 5. What do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's count 5, not counting that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get a good grip. Open it up. Remove the chain. Close it up. Use an oval jump ring or whatever shape of jump ring that you're using. Put it through your last link. We're going to pick up the textured oval or whatever component you are working with, because you'll have different shapes and textures and everything else than what I have. Make sure that's closed. We have 2 in here. Let's find another oval and let's put this through here. Pick up the last link. I know we have to count it off and separate it, but I can at least pick it up for right now. Counting just the chain length, not that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, we're going to be taking a lot off around the neck, unless I happen to like the length. Need another oval link, large link. If it could be closed up a little better here. And pick up that last ring and close this up. Almost there on this side. We need one more oval link. Hope I have enough oval links for the other side. Hope so. I think I do. I'm not going to worry about the length around the neck. I still have my little ring there, but obviously it's a lot longer than what it was. I'm going to do the same thing for this section, and I'll just fast forward through that. I might have a problem. I might have run out of the large oval links. I have round, a few round. There's a round one on here. I think what I'm going to have to do is change this oval out to round links. I think I can make this work. So I'll put that oval up here. I probably should have taken the time to count them and make sure. You know, I'll make it work. That's what we do, right? We adjust. So let's use round ones for the center. Since there's only one oval in the center and the others are round, we'll use round jump rings on the oval and oval jump rings on the round, if you know what I mean. Resolve that. We're going to resolve it over here too. Let's count off. Let's count our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in between. Now back to the oval link, like we did here and here and here, and pick up the round. Almost done with this part. We've got this part done. Woohoo! And this will dangle down as a front charm, but we're not done yet. Not at all. If you're enjoying this video, I appreciate a thumbs up, a like, and be sure to comment. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe and keep watching. There's more. These rings are going the wrong direction. So I need to work in one more jump ring here. Yeah, we need to change the direction of this. And I have a link that I could do that with. I have a couple of different ways I could do that, but I absolutely need to change the direction. We need to add something in here. I think I'm going to just go ahead and close this up for now. I mean, I could add the oval. I do have an extra oval. That would make that quite long, though. I really like this being just 3. Let's see about using an oval link to change the direction. I might want to go smaller than this. I won't know yet till I do it. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about. We have the ring is falling just fine. This ring is falling just fine, but these were going the wrong direction. And as I see here, I have an oval link now, oval and then a round. That's fine. I'm good with that. I don't even mind that that goes to a round one. I could have put the round one here and the oval here. I could have, but I'm okay with that. Let's keep moving on here. We've got a really nice contemporary design. Everything's falling the direction that I wanted to fall, but I want to embellish it some more. I'm going to reserve some of the rings for earrings, possibly a bracelet. Don't know for sure about that. Let's work back in some of these charms. Yeah, let's do that. Oh my goodness, we could put charms from here. We could put charms from here. There's a lot of different things we could do. But let's just pick out some. Think about what we want to use, how large we want to use. And that's the largest pearl drop there, teardrop. I have a smaller one. I have all different things we could use here. Just depends on how large we want to get with the beads. We can just play around here. There's a lot of cool dangles. And as I said, we can add more further up. See what we can do. I want to put a little pearl there on top of that leaf. I'm not sure about this large pearl. I might set that aside. I do like this shape though, but honestly I like the leaf the best. I do. And I don't really want to take away from that leaf, so I just may not. I might just add the smaller beads. I guess before I get too carried away, I'm just going to add a few charms here and go from there, one step at a time. And I really like the leaf. I know it's not fall, I know, but I like this leaf. Besides that, there are leaves on the trees all year long, so I don't know what I'm worried about. Let's add in the little pearl. I'm going to go ahead and close that up because these jump rings are not large enough to make it around here. At least I don't think so. I've got some larger ones. I guess I have 2 sizes. Let's see. Let's find out. See if I can even get this to go around the ring. I sure hope I can. Yes. Yes, it does. I really like to keep the same tone, the same metal. So we have a little leaf with a pearl. I know it's probably pretty busy here with all this stuff. Let me just try to unbusy it here just a little bit. Take another jump ring and work to either side. I'm going to pick my favorites first. I like this little pearl with the little gold bead cap, so I'm going to put that here. And let's do another over on the other side. Maybe this one. Line it up. What else? We can go with just a few. We don't have to limit it to just the bottom one. We can add some here too. We can put charms in all 3 of these. I like this one. It's just getting jumbled every time I pick it up. The only thing that's front facing is the leaf. All the rest are two-sided. Oh, you know what? The way I have the leaf facing here, it's not turning the right direction. I need to adjust the leaf. Give me 1 second here. I'll show you what I mean. These are all two-sided. But this one here, I'm having a little trouble with the direction it's facing. I don't know if my jump ring is large enough to just have the one jump ring through here. I'm going to change this jump ring out. I'm going to try. If I had just one large jump ring, this would all work and face the direction that I want it to face. But it means I have to get through the little pearl and the leaf and fit it on here. I don't know if I can do all of that. I think I got it. That's the only thing when wearing it. Got to remember that the leaf faces forward. Let's keep going here. That's what we have so far. Another jump ring. This one dangles down quite a bit, so maybe, oh, I like this one too though. I think I'll go with this one with a little pearl dangling from it. And put that over here. Keep a hold of it, get it closed up. Let's take a look at our dangles. This is what I have, and of course they're all going to move around, and that's fine. And if you're making one of these for yourself, you can keep adding beads all the way up here. In fact, I might add a few pearls just because, add a few pearls up here, some of the medium size. So we can keep this very contemporary and not add any charms, or we can add several charms and beads and make it a charm dangle. We really won't be able to see what it looks like until I try it on. It's just getting a little chaotic right now, but hang in here with me because before the video is over, I will not only show it on a necklace display, but I will try it on as well. Let's just add, do I want to add those there? I do want the rings to show a little bit. I don't want to cover them up completely. I'll just add a gold bead to each side and see what it looks like. I can always come back and add more or remove some later. This is what we have so far, and there's so much more we can do with this. I'm thinking about moving this little pearl dangle on the leaf to its own jump ring because it wants to slip back behind the leaf. So I'm going to take that off. We're going to attach it separately. I've noticed that a couple times now as I'm moving it around, it's slipping behind the leaf. So let's just take a small jump ring. Could even be smaller than this, but it's the smallest one I have right now. Let's attach this to the jump ring so that it hangs in front of the leaf. Same jump ring that the leaf is on, but a separate jump ring for the pearl, if you know what I mean. This is what we have so far, and I think I would like to have a little splash of color in this. Yes, I love the gold. I love the off-white, I do, but I'd like to bring in a little splash of color. All right, I'm going to find some other colors. I don't know if it's going to be from what I bought at the antique mall, but I'm going to work in some other colors here, so keep watching. I thought with St. Patrick's Day coming up at the time of making this video that I work in a little bit of green. I have some 2-inch gold head pins, and I'm just going to add a small round bead at the bottom. Pick up one of the green beads. Could also add daisy spacers if you want. I think I'm just going to go simple with this and just use the green bead, push the beads down. And I have a couple of ways to do this. I can attach this by making a loop at the top and attach it, or I could attach it with a jump ring. Do you remember what we did recently on a video where I made the art jewelry and I rolled the head pin down? That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to trim this off a little bit, about 1/4 inch. I'm going to use my looping tool on the smallest one, and I am going to wires flush right at the top, okay, flush, and I'm going to start rolling that down and rolling it and rolling it and rolling it, and this will make the loop really secure for attaching this glass bead. It's what I have. It's almost like a split ring, and then you can pull it back just a little bit if you want to. So it's like a little split ring. Just make sure you don't have any sharp edges on it. And it looks like I could actually roll it just a little more. My beads had slid up on me, so Make sure you're facing the right direction. Put that back in here slightly and just let your beads drop down all the way and then roll it just a little more. I'm going to do that to all three with just a little gold bead at the bottom and the top. I don't know if I need all three, but I'm going to go with 3 for now. Push the beads down. I don't need this much to roll, so I'm just cutting off about 1/4 inch, give or take. Again, this is flush and rolling and rolling and rolling. That's what I have. I'm going to just pull it back a little just to straighten it. Make sure there's no sharp edges. Do one more. And if your length is a little longer and you have one more wrap, that's fine, perfectly fine. Okay, how can we attach these and yet not be permanent with it? Well, I've got an idea, so keep watching. We're going to use some of the original jump rings from the original necklace and just put it through that head pin that we rolled down. And we have a couple of options. We can go ahead and just attach this. I mean, we do make jewelry, right? So we can just go ahead and attach the jump ring. And then we could take this off when we want to change our color. It takes seconds. You saw how fast I put it on there, and you can take it off just as fast. So we can do that. I think I'll go for 3. The other option I have is you could attach your unique bead of color that you want to change out for the seasons. You could attach that to a small lobster clasp, okay? And here's the catch though. It has to either fit over your rings, which this one I have does not, or you could leave a couple of loose jump rings on your charm dangle. I'm just going to fit this in here. You can leave that on there, and then you could, we'll see if this is going to work. I haven't actually tried it. It's just an idea. Close up the jump ring. You could make some of your colorful dangles for the seasons, your colorful bead dangles. You could attach them to a little jump ring. I hope you can see that okay. And I think that lobster clasp will pretty much disappear into all the other beads. And you could use a much smaller lobster clasp. That's just all I have on hand right now. So that's why I went with that. But there you go. That's a way to add some color. Easy change out. Whether you do it manually or with a lobster clasp and just leave a few jump rings in there to attach to. You could also add beads and charms to every ring. I'm not going to do that, but you most certainly could. I'll lay some of these out so you can see what it would look like. Just adding a few things. You could add another leaf in here if you want, although I think that competes, so maybe that, and just have some fun with it. You could add beads and dangles all the way up. Completely up to you. Whatever you want to do. I kind of think 3s, you know, doing things in 3s looks nice, but something like that you could do. But just to give you some ideas, we have a couple of things left to do. That is, put a clasp on the back and see if I can whip up a quick bracelet and a pair of earrings. But for now, as I said, I'm not going to attach anything up above here, but I think you get the idea of what you can do. It's a matter of how many charms that you like. It's all about your personal preference, because this video and all my videos are for inspiration to take the ideas that I share with you and get into your own bead stash or your own secondhand jewelry from an antique mall like I did and upcycle it. Before we make a bracelet and a quick pair of earrings, I'm going to upcycle and use the original clasp. It doesn't matter to me that this clasp has a little bit of wear on it. I'm going to use it anyway. I'm going to go ahead and keep this necklace because I love long necklaces, and I love the opportunity to change out the different colors for the seasons. So lobster clasp, I did decide after trying it on that I'm going to remove about 5 links per side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just was a little bit too long. now the necklace is officially complete. And as I said, I'll show it to you on a display, and I'll also try it on at the end of the video. And I guess I don't need these jump rings in here anymore, do I? They serve their purpose. And keep that tip in mind. It's really helpful to measure the chain around the back of your neck and decide where you want your beads or your, embellishments to start. Just put a little jump ring in that chain. Okay, necklace is complete. Let's set it aside and make a bracelet to go with it. At least I'm hoping to. Okay, what do we have here to make a bracelet? This is one of our focal points. We have 2 smaller circles. I wanted to save 2 of these for earrings. I'm looking around. Looks like I did a pretty good job of using things up. So what am I going to do here? Is it just going to be a simple metal bracelet? I don't have much chain left. How small is this bracelet going to be? And how am I going to link everything together? Decisions. Oh, I have this oval. Oh, yeah. Let's take this oval from here. Open up that jump ring. Tell you what, I'm trying to use everything up in this upcycle from these 2 necklaces. I'm having a hard time getting a hold of that. Now that I found another oval, I can still save 2 of these for earrings. And we can use this to add a little length. It doesn't need to be too long, but long enough. And I might need to use this extension chain, but I don't know. The way these are connected, they're not even connected with jump rings. It looks like it's a little side opening loop. I'm going to set that aside for now and just start connecting these rings, hoping that the jump rings that I have left will go through it. Just barely. I have a couple of oval links. Let's use them, at least for this larger component in the center. It's not cooperating very well. I'm trying to close that up. This is where I might try this again. I had to get into some of my stash of jump rings because these are either too thick or too small. I don't like the way these are laying. I've used up all the chain except for just a few links. And I like the length of the necklace, so I don't want to take that apart. So I just grabbed some jump rings. Don't fight it. Just grab some jump rings and go with it. So let's lay this out again. See what we're going to do. Some jump rings here. Let's just attach what we have here and see if they're going to work. Save your jump rings if they're in decent condition. Now these are new jump rings, but save jump rings when you're upcycling, and links of chain too, to use as jump rings for when that time comes and you need them, like I do today. But I was able to get into some stash to get some jump rings, so that's going to help here. And I could double up the jump rings. I might do that. I might get some more and double these up. Let me just start with 1. Still don't know if I have enough to be long enough to go around my wrist. A little bit of chain left. Still have a ways to go. I'm going to get some more jump rings. Okay, got some more here. Don't want to get them intermingled. Let's add the chain. Before I bother doubling up the jump rings, let's just make sure we can get this long enough to begin with. I do have a jump ring opener and closer. You'll find a link for that too. My Amazon affiliate links for Avante jewelry. And it can be handy. Takes a little getting used to. I don't use it so much for closing it, because I feel like when I close it, as you saw what just happened, I need to kind of wiggle it back and forth, but it's great for opening. You can use it for both, but are we there yet? Almost. Not quite, but almost. I still have this extension that I could add. And I need a ring on the end. Can I get this? Oh, I need a lobster clasp. That would help, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's see if I've got one here that I could use. What do I do with that swivel one I had? Oh, I have a lobster clasp here, just a regular lobster clasp. Let's go with that. Let's attach an upcycled lobster clasp to an upcycled bracelet and see if I can get this on. There's really no front or back, and I can see already I've got far more extension chain. Maybe I don't even need that extension chain. Well, guess what? I don't even need all that. Yay, I got it to fit. All right, I'm good with that. I'm going to take that crazy looking extension chain off of here. Can I get it on? By myself, I moved some of the link chain to each end. Got it. There you go. I've got a cute little bracelet to go with the necklace. I think I will go back and add double rings here. I just think it would look really nice. Beef it up just a little bit. And I have an extra ring at the end here too, a couple extra rings. I will do that. I added double jump rings in between. I think that looks a lot nicer, having two here instead of just one. Here's the bracelet. Bracelet is done, but let's make some earrings to go with the set. This is all I have left for making earrings. Obviously, those aren't going to work. And these are probably very delicate if I try to take these apart. But I have the two ovals, and let's see here. I have two of these. These are kind of cool. They're the same shape. They are, thank goodness. And we have some pearls. You know, if we want to do like charm. Oh, I've got two of these. We could make charm dangles. We could put just one. I only have one small one. We could just put one bead dangle. Could be these or a pearl, which I kind of like. But these are pretty cool too. We could use those. Or we could use all three. We can use all three. That's about all I have that would match. I mean, I have the round pearls as well. First thing I know is I'm using these. So let's get some ear wires. My ear wires are a brighter gold. It's just the way it is. And then I have some jump rings left. So let's go ahead and attach this loop. We might have to adjust the direction of it. Let's see here. No, it's okay. It can hang sideways or it could hang frontwards. I'll go sideways on this one. So let's attach this here. I'll tell you what, there's another way we can adjust the direction it falls, because I'm going to show you here how each of these ear wires hangs differently. This one is like front and back, and this ear wire loop is sideways. So I'm just going to turn this one sideways. That's what we're going to do. We have a little bit of leeway. I mean, it could break or not. We'll find out. There you go. Pretty much facing the same direction. You want them facing the same direction no matter what direction that is. So that's what we've got so far. Single dangle, double dangle, pearls. I don't know if I want a bunch of charms on here. I just wanted to show you that you could do that. You could hang several. But I think I'm going to at least start with just the pearl itself. Looking for jump rings the same size. Still working with jump rings from one of the original necklaces. Not sure which one anymore. I guess the chain. I tell you what. I will take this all the way out and show you 1, 2. Well, I would never use just 2, but here's 1. Let's add this textured bead. I don't know. Maybe I will like 3. Never know. Let's close up your jump ring. I'll show it to you in just a second here. You don't know if you don't try. Here's 2. Let's try the third one. Do I have 2 more small jump rings, or at least something that will work? Then I just happen to choose this teardrop. We'll put it on the other side of the pearl, just because of the color, keeping the lighter bead in the center. Hang in here with me. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you everything that we made. We have others we could work with, but this is what we have if we do 3 beads. Tell me in your comment. Do you like 1? Probably not 2, but do you like 1 or 3 beads? Or would you add even more? What would you do here? I know some of you would probably add 2 completely different charms. Very doable for sure. Keep watching here. I'm going to show it to you on a display, and then of course I'll try it on. Now, I don't have a lot of green in my closet. I don't wear green very often. So yes, I had to put on my St. Patrick's Day shirt. That's all I had. Truly, it's all I had that was the right color. So the necklace might be a little busy when I put it on, but Well, if I have to, I'll go change into another shirt, a solid black shirt, and show it to you. Let's take a close look at what we made today. Be sure to vote for your favorite piece or pieces or the entire set, whatever you like. Leave a comment and let me know. But let's do that right now. I have it all ready here. Now, it is quite long, so I did shorten it up in the back as far as the chain, the clasp and the chain, but here it is. Now, I might have gotten carried away with the charms. I might have, honestly. But you can put as many or as few as you would like. And the green beads that I'm wearing for St. Patrick's Day, well, those could come off. And I can either change out the color or just leave it in the gold tones, the gold and off-white. Here's the bracelet. I did leave 3 dangles on the earrings and then the necklace. What do you think? Should I try it on? Will it show up on this shirt? I don't know, but I'm going to try it on right now with this same shirt. I'll be right back. But you know, it can be shortened up. Oh yeah, it's busy on here. It is. There you go. Let's get the earrings on. Because I am keeping this set, you know, I sell a lot of my jewelry in our eBay store, but this set I'm keeping, and I think I'll get a lot of wear out of it. Probably will take the green out though. And, well, the bracelet, I don't know. Can I get this bracelet on right now? I'll try. Be patient with me here. I'll try to get it on as fast as I can. Got it on. Let's take a look at everything here. Set this aside. The necklace, it's a nice length for me. I really like it. I know it's not showing up here, so I'm going to hold it up again to the camera so you can see the dangles and all that good stuff. And then the earrings with three charms. And, oh, the bracelet. Yeah, the bracelet. I actually love bracelets like this. Very contemporary looking, very simple. Could have added bead dangles, I guess, but I actually like it is. So what do you think? Is this something that you would try making? I feel bad. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's just take away the green for a second and let you see this. Is this something that you would try? It really only took some chain, some rings, some charms. And would you make it this long or would you go shorter? What is your style? Leave a comment and let me know. But it has that mix of contemporary and the fun of the charms. And I really like it. And I might just wear it today. I have an announcement to make. If you don't know, we have reached on Avante Jewelry 24,000 subscribers. Woohoo! I'm so excited. Did that within 2 years' time, which is pretty good, considering that YouTube says that only 3% of content creators on YouTube who consistently create videos, only 3% ever reach 10,000. And I was able to reach that with this channel within 4 months. Now we're at 2 years. Who knows, maybe these are actually my lucky charms to reach 100,000 subs. But I can't do it without you. I need your help. If you have not subscribed, or if you think you're subscribed, double check and make sure you're subscribed. And go that extra step, please, and ring that bell icon. There's a little bell. And you'll be notified every time I upload a video. That is so important. It tells YouTube that you like the videos that I'm producing. It shows me that you like the videos that I'm producing. So please join me in my goal of reaching 100,000 subscribers. Would love to do that within the next year. And yeah, would love to accomplish that, but I can't do it without you. Thank you so much for that. And one other little tidbit, I did release a playlist of music for jewelry making. Music that you can listen to while you're making jewelry. I can only put out a video once a week or so, sometimes every 5-7 days, but you can most certainly go to that playlist and listen to some of the songs that I either co-wrote or that I completely wrote all the lyrics for. So check that out. There's one playlist out there so far, and I'm working on another. Yes, I've been writing more songs. I'm having a ball with it. I hope you enjoyed the music and the lyrics that I wrote in this video. And as always, thanks for watching. I'm Vickie, and I'll see you in the next video. 24,000, 24,000. We reached 24,000. Thanks to you.